Uh, I wanted it to be, you're not crazy, they are. Because, truthfully, let's be honest, whenever we're in that state where somebody says, you're acting kind of crazy right now, what do we say? I'm not acting crazy, you're making me crazy. And to be honest, I don't think there's any other relationship in our life that can cause us to feel crazy in certain moments than marriage. Just honestly, it's true, because what other relationship do you have where you will argue about something for hours only to realize that what you're arguing about is not what you're actually arguing about? Right? And who else do you just pick fights with just because you're bored and you're just like, it's just one of those things in marriage. And I still remember the first year of marriage for Christy and I, there's actually a list of things. It's like the top 10 things that cause the most stress in your first year of marriage. And number 2 on the list, we actually did 5 times. And that thing that we did was we moved. We moved houses 5 times in our first year of marriage, which is not wise. I think they helped me out, but I chose for some reason, I'm just gonna do this by myself. Could it be in life that when it comes to our mental and emotional things that we carry, the reason they're so overwhelming is we're trying to just do it by ourselves? And our capacity is what a Ford Ranger can carry, but what we need is a U-Haul with some friends. See, I think that's what happens so often is we think, we can just do it by ourselves. I think that even happens in church many times, and because we get it wrong. Even some of the things that we say, we may take it the wrong way. For example, this entire season, what we're talking about is God's got this. And absolutely, God's got this, but we can misinterpret that as this idea that all I need is God, where God says, no, you need me, but you also need my people. See, the way God works in so many ways is not that he just does it for us, but he surrounds us with his people and his power. Anxiety is at an all-time high, and we wonder why that's happening. Like, what is going on right now? Why is it so high? And some people say, well, we don't know enough about ourselves. Actually, this generation knows more about themselves than any other generation. We have taken more personality tests. We've done more research online, which we should stop doing. We've been to counseling, which is incredible, but we know our traumas, we know our triggers, we know all these things, but for some reason, we're more depressed. How is that possible? Do you know 2/3 of the people in the United States say that they're lonely? 2/3. And I wouldn't ask for those of you who say that you're lonely to stand up, because actually statistics show only 12% of those people would actually admit it to a friend that they feel lonely. It's like, how can we be so lonely? Like, how can we be so lonely surrounded by so many people? And privacy and convenience as the top things we are going after, and comfort, that actually what we're going for is the thing that is stealing our joy and hurting us. Actually, the Surgeon General put out an 80-page paper that said the greatest threat to our mental and physical health is loneliness. It actually says that it has a greater effect on our physical health than obesity and diabetes. It has a greater effect on our physical health than smoking does. Yet for some reason, we continue to go towards that. And I think one of the biggest reasons is because when we feel lonely, we feel in that moment this shame and guilt, and we feel unworthy. We're going, I feel lonely because apparently I am unworthy of somebody caring or loving me, when that is not at all what's going on. In fact, loneliness is a signal from God. Loneliness is a signal from God that I'm missing something that I desperately need. Loneliness is a signal from God that he has something better for me, something more for me. Loneliness is a signal from God of him telling us, hey, I created something for you, but you're not engaging with it. And what do I mean by real relationships? Like, it's the people in your life that can open the door and take a look. It's the people in your life, I'll say this way, that have refrigerator rights. Some of you know what I'm talking about, some of you don't. Like growing up, I learned about this. I remember as a kid, we were going over to somebody's house, and my mom explained this to me. She said, hey, you go over this house, this is not your house. You don't just go into drawers and you don't go into the refrigerator. I'm like, why not? She goes, well, if you go into the refrigerator, they're gonna think I don't feed you at home, and it's gonna look bad. I'm like, nobody thinks that, Mom. But I think even at my grandparents' house, I wasn't allowed to go in the refrigerator until I was like a teenager. Like, so there's the refrigerator rights, but I didn't know this, but until later on, is that not every kid knew this. I still remember that there was this one time I was in middle school, and we had a basketball goal out front, and some of my friends came over, and they brought some of other friends that we don't go home. See, do you have real friendships, real relationships? Do you have people that know your stuff? Do they have people that are allowed to come in and just check on you? People that know the good, the bad, and the ugly of who you are. And here's why. It's because we actually cannot experience real love unless we are truly known. People, hey, just love others. Everybody has a different definition of love. Jesus said, no, don't love people the way you want to love them the way that I love them. And what he says afterwards is he says, actually, the way the world will know that you follow me is by the way you love one another. Not by your attendance, not by for a group of people to do this, to truly love one another. And I wonder what it would actually look like to the world around us. Because I think so often when the world around us sees church, they see church as an add-on, not the answer to what they're walking through. How would it look? What if we took that seriously? Help us. I think it's why Paul, when he says this to the church in Rome, he says this, he says, don't just pretend to love others, really love them. He says, hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good. Love each other with a genuine affection and take delight in honoring one another. Now, what's interesting about this verse is he says, really love them, and then it feels like he takes a right-hand turn and he says, hate what is wrong, hold tightly to what is good, and then he says, love one another again. It's like, Paul, what are you doing? Why all of a sudden are you getting off track? And he's not getting off track. What he's saying is this: it's really, really hard that when you're going through the struggles in life and you don't have anybody around you to hate what is wrong and to hold tightly to what is good. It's really hard when you're going through it, you feel alone, and you think God is distant, to continue to understand what is right and what is wrong. See, what Paul is trying to help us understand, guys, it's not possible to live the Christian life without other people. You cannot go through the struggles in life, the trials in life by yourself and expect to make the right decisions and understand what's actually going on. I love that verse. I will say that to other people. I'm like, don't get mad at me. Paul said it. Paul said it. You're not that important. Paul said it. Paul said it. You know, it's really hard to share one another's burdens when we don't actually share our burdens. It's really hard to share one another's burdens if we never communicate that we have a problem. And when we talk about burdens, we're not just talking about struggles in life, the tough times in life. We're also talking about the wounds that we pick up. We're talking about the scars that we have. We're talking about the things that have hurt us. And here's what we many times don't understand is that when we choose not to share those things, we're actually deciding not to bring healing into our lives.